Trick.
Yep.
How did your auction go?
Good morning, everyone. It's Valerie, otherwise known as Chick Picker.
Time to wake up.
Yeah. That was a rooster or not, but there you go.
What do the chickens do when they lay an egg?
How's everybody doing today? It's
Silliness.
Thursday.
Doing good.
Silly
Doing
Thursday.
lovely.
What? What?
Trick.
Yeah.
How did your auction go?
It doesn't end until Saturday.
Oh, I thought it ended yesterday.
Nope.
I got one that ended tonight.
That's cool.
It's the first time that I have, I bid on storage units online,
Right.
but it's the first time I really did the Todd and Bridget thing where you're voting. I'm voting. You're bidding on individual, like groupings.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of the best things that I bid on is I think a lot of cameras, and the cameras are just crappy old cameras. And but there's a underwater housing in it that sells for about $40, and right now my bid, and I'm the high bid, is $2.
Wow.
Because like I said, the cameras they're film cameras, and there's nothing really to them.
Yeah.
So anyhow.
Cool.
I think I'm deciding to let the great big stuff go.
Why?
Just don't have room for it here, and I don't know, stuff like bicycle repair stand. You put your bicycle up on it. Yeah, I'm not going to ship that eBay, so.
Well,
Right.
I mean, you have to. That is one thing that you do have to think of. Would I be able to ship it, and without. I mean, like Nikki says, you can ship anything. You can have it,
Yeah.
freighted or whatever. But do you want? It's is it worth the trouble? Is it worth the headache?
Yeah.
And that's
I'm not really scared of the weight, and I think they will break down into smaller pieces, but it's still pretty long.
yeah.
So dimensional weight would be tough to figure out, and then pain in the rear.
I'm trying to steer you away from, I know you're into that 80s stuff, Tara. I thought I'd just start me out. Since Todd's starting his own Sister Wives Club, I thought I'd start one too.
Right.
But you know what? Seriously, it's got some kind of like yellow tinge to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, people wear those though.
It knocks the glare out.
Huh. So it's like glare resistant type of thing.
No, these things are like probably, those boutiques that you go to at the mall and out in the center, and it's got the 3 pairs of sunshades for $5.
Yep.
That's probably where they came from.
But those would sell.
It's got a scratch on the lens.
That's okay. You put them on there as prop, because people buy them for the frames themselves, and if they wanted them, they'd get the lenses put in them.
Okay, well, I could see them as props. I could see them as.
I sold a pair to Walking Dead, a pair of old 70s glasses, and they looked like they had, they were Coke bottle bottoms,
Right.
I mean, they were pretty frames, but they'll sell.
Good morning, Mr. Sadie. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning. Morning, Maggie.
Hey, Maggie.
Tara, are you on the road this morning?
Who?
Tara,
Oh,
she's in the chat.
No, she's probably not on the road because she's probably driving. Or she's on the road.
Oh, we got here Craig, Mike, Jim,
Julie.
Tara,
morning, Julie.
Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Very struggling.
Everybody.
Hey, Craig.
How's everything going?
Okay, Maggie. I
Yeah.
need your. Wait a minute.
Before you start, Tom, I just want to say, Maggie, yesterday was a great show. You did a great job. And
Thank you.
She is. She did a good job. Good job.
a lot of information.
I only got halfway through it so far.
Felt like I was babbling, so thank you.
You were given
It was great information, but I don't read very well, so I'm not going to sell books.
It's hard to sell books if you can't read, Todd.
morning, Maggie.
Morning, Hank and Kathy.
Oh man, my ankle hurts.
Okay.
You know what? Oh,
Did you do it?
Tom
Go ahead.
Tom had his story first.
Tom, where's your
Okay, okay, Maggie, does this work for me?
Oh, that is you, Tom. Wow.
I know. You see, you could fold it down if you don't have a big neck like that. Well, I guess you'd have to fold it under. I guess that's what this thing's for, because it's not, I can get my big old head and hair through it. And if it was a muff, aren't these kind of like tight?
They
So
would,
it holds up against.
they would be smaller and tighter and
Yeah.
more. There would be more padding in them, I think. If it
Yeah.
And now it's got 60-year-old man sweat all over
Are you
it.
kidding? There's no telling what it's got in it.
You should
But it
model
says,
it. in your
why do
pictures.
you do what? I'm sorry.
You should model it in your pictures.
No, I just, there's a girl across the street that's like 26, and she and her dad and I were talking about eBay and the stuff, and I said, it just seems like these girls with big booties and big boobs, they've started modeling their clothes, and
Yep.
he's like, well, if you ever need a model, my daughter, she'll work pretty cheap because she's looking for a job because the company she worked for shut down. I said, if with the people that I hang out with, if I started listing stuff where the jewelry was hanging down in the cleavage that you could fall into and take 2 years to climb out of, I said they would be on my butt like.
I think you might get in trouble with your wife.
Roberta wouldn't care. Roberta wouldn't care as long as I was making money.
I'm just hiring this model. It's like you ever see like those like movies where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going for a modeling gig, and then they talk her into taking her clothes off. It'd be like I have them in movies. It's like, oh, that's so horrible. That's how that happens. Here's Tom, the cheese photographer.
Yep.
Nah. I like having my stuff, and that whole cheating idea had never crossed my mind because Roberta would take my shit. She would take all of it. If I had dreams, she would take my dreams too.
Hello.
So that is not something I even ever thought about.
Yeah.
Even though I'm
Hello.
not the kind of person that would do that anyway. But like I said, from a financial point of it, no. I've worked too hard for my crap.
Absolutely. I agree. So Mr. Sadie said he just dropped off a FedEx package, 1942 World War II Navy radio receiver. He paid $30 for it and sold it for $210 plus 30 shipping.
Nice.
Very good. The weight was 32 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a good flip.
Yep. I would agree.
I got a Victrola I just picked up. I bought on online auction last night for $25. It's a tabletop one, but I mean that should be like $2 to $230 somewhere in there.
Nice. Mr. Sadie. He said, yeah, my wife would light me on fire while I'm sleeping.
No, Mr. Sadie, she would stand out there by that bass boat with a chainsaw.
Tell you what, a woman's born, you just don't want to mess with a woman.
Well, that's just it, you know.
They be nice and sweet and everything, and not have a bad thought. But when they've been, you know, cheated on or anything like that, all bets are off.
What's that story Willie Nelson tells about? He came home drunk and high, if you can believe it, and his wife sewed him up in the bed sheets and started beating on him with a broom handle.
There you go.
Oh boy.
Nice cast iron frying pan works real good.
Well, if you watch the Medea movies, you know, you pay, you know, that young girl just cleans that guy's clock with that cast iron frying pan or that frying pan.
Oh yeah, they come in real handy.
You know, I know I don't wear my morals out here on my sleeves, but anybody that cheats on their spouse, that's pretty bad to me. That means you can't trust them. Because if you cheat on your spouse, you'll cheat on, like politicians.
Yeah.
You know, if they'll cheat on their spouse, they'll cheat on us. Like, you know, they'll screw us in a minute.
Yeah.
Tara, are you cold, honey?
It's like well, it's just a hoodie. It was like 29 here this morning. It's been cold. Like yesterday morning, I think it was 13 degrees.
Don't you? What's it? Do you follow what is up in your old neck of the woods?
Well, it was 19 below a couple mornings ago.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I watch the Snowmobile Club up there. They'll do like live video when they're grooming the trails with the groomers. So I watch it just to see how much snow they got. I'm pathetic.
See, it's a good thing that I'm not from up there and then moved south, because I'm such a bitch. I would be outside in shorts and barefooted and a tank top, you know, walking around like, oh, it's so lovely down here, while those poor bastards up there.
Yeah, that's a good way to tick people off. Because I'll tell you this, when I decided to move down here, I had a couple friends that got down here before me, which I think is kind of messed up that your friends like, I'm like, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden they just sell out and they move right down to this area. So I had this one friend, she's been down here about 4 years, and she'd be on Facebook, and whenever it get cold up north, she'd start posting the weather down here, and then she'd be say stuff like, don't miss that, don't miss that. I can tell you this, if I could have crawled through that computer and choked her, I would have.
Oh, that's what you do to your friends, you know, that's how you find out if you're your true
No,
friends.
it was getting a little tedious, but anyway, I don't do that because I have friends up there and who are mutual friends with this other person. She goes, oh yeah, you'll be doing that too. I'm like, no, I won't. Anyway.
Heck, I'm gonna do that when I'm in Texas.
Sally Ann, how many feet of snow you got up there?
Probably 1 foot 4 inches.
Wow.
Yeah, where I used to live, there's probably over 3 feet on the ground right now.
Jeez. Ugh.
And
It
it's
wasn't
supposed to snow all
snowing
day.
here though. It did snow here. It didn't stick to the ground, but we had snow flurries like 2 days ago.
This sunroom, for I guess because I'm 62 now and I'm an old man, this sunroom just seems like it's so cold. I stopped by Lowe's yesterday because I was thinking about buying a little kerosene heater and put it out here, you know, crank it up in the morning, and after about an hour turn it off.
Yeah.
Just to warm up all this, because it's the original patio floor, you know, concrete floor up under it with that broken stone on top of it, whatever it's called.
Mhm.
So, and all this glass all the way around, there's glass windows behind this. It just gets cold out there. I went in there yesterday and I went over to where the kerosene heaters are at, and there wasn't a one.
No.
And I pushed the button, and one of the salespeople came over and I said, "Are you out of kerosene heaters?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Are we expecting snow?" I said, "Not that I know of." He said, all of a sudden everybody came in here and started buying these things. I said, maybe it's the same thing that I'm doing. They've got a sunroom or a basement they need to throw some heat in.
I heard that those little buddy kerosene heaters are good.
I just want a little one. Just this room is 16 by 16.
Just get like an Eden Pure that you plug in because kerosene is stinky.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't they smell?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Just do a
I
room.
don't know. I think they do, but like I bought it, but I buy all my stuff at auction. They're expensive if you go buy it new. But like those Eden Pure heaters, they don't make any noise, but they warm a room really good.
Well, we've got I've got one of those that looks like the old style radiators that's got the oil
Yeah.
in it. I've got
Yeah.
one of those, but it quit working, and I was just thinking about something else, but I'm gonna probably go back and get another one of those.
Oh, because the Eden Pures work good. If I had an extra one, I'd send it to you.
That's okay.
Was I gonna say something? Like something that I was gonna tell you.
Yeah, Tina was saying that it was getting cold. It was cold there when I left. It was
Oh my
chilly.
Jim's daughter lives in South Florida, and you probably have all seen it, but it's gonna get to be like 30 down there. And did you see they have these warnings for falling iguanas?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I saw that
Oh.
last night.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Those Kathy says the little buddies are propane, not kerosene.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
I was reading back to the chat. Hank, I probably could get some duct tape and push these suckers together and compete with most of y'all.
Ew.
Ew, he's right. Ew.
That's the reason I've been. For the last week, I've been doing push-ups and sit-ups, and I've got to get in shape.
you sound like Jim.
I'm huffing and puffing just walking around. I did do 6,000 steps yesterday, according to my watch that I just took off.
Oh, I did a stupid thing yesterday.
What did you do?
Oh, I got on the treadmill for the first time in like 8 months. And I was walking along doing okay. It was about 5 minutes in, and I tripped.
Oh,
And didn't fall. I grabbed the handrails, but my right foot went over the back end of the treadmill, and the top of my ankle and top of my foot, where it was on that roller at the end where
Oh my God.
the carpet thing goes round and round and round, and just drug the worst carpet burn you've ever seen in your life on the front of my ankle and top of my foot. Oh my gosh. And I was like, quit, stop. And I didn't even think to pull on that magnet string thing to stop the machine. When
The
you're
thing
in
you're
pain.
supposed to clip to yourself.
Yeah, it was clipped to me. And there was just enough string where I was
It
just
was
dangling that one leg off the back, and man, it took off like 12 layers of skin on the top of my foot.
God.
No, bro.
You
Well,
need,
Todd, at least you didn't break a hip, dude.
you need to go to the doctor, Todd, for that.
Oh, nah, it'll be all right.
I don't want to hear
Rub
it.
some dirt on it. It'll be okay in the morning.
Okay.
Get you some clay and vinegar and rub on it.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor.
My grandmother that died, when she died, she was like 97. You got a skin? Go out there in the ditch and get you some clay and let me put a little vinegar in it. Vinegar. That's it. Vinegar.
Vinegar.
Yeah. And I'll mix it into it, and we'll just stick it on there with then you had to put a piece of newsprint over it, and then you wrapped it with tape.
You remember that movie Elf where he gets on the escalator,
Yeah.
and the one leg goes up and the other one stays where it is, and that's kind of how I was on that treadmill yesterday.
Todd, you're not a young man anymore. You cannot start doing those handstands and walking on the treadmill on your arms now.
Oh.
Well, I hope you feel better. But if it starts seeping and stinking and all that you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Hank
don't need-
Hank says the newsprint gave you a cool temporary tattoos of the farming ads.
Yeah. Do y'all remember? Y'all probably didn't do it because y'all were all rich and had the real stuff. We would take clay. We'd take like Play-Doh and stick on save the Sunday comics.
Yep.
Take Play-Doh and stick down on it so you could have the picture.
Yep.
We did that with Silly Putty that came in an egg looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Silly Putty, I think.
Well, we didn't have Silly Putty because we were poor.
Play-Doh's more expensive than Silly Putty, Tom.
Oh, we made our own Play-Doh.
And now, don't try fooling anybody saying, "Oh, we were poor."
Yeah.
Like you're a sharecroppers living in a shack somewhere picking cotton or something. Everybody knows you're rich.
Yep.
Nah, we were.
Ain't supposed to nobody here.
My mom was thrifty.
Well, the ones that have money are always thirsty.
What's today?
Well, my dad was cheap, so there.
Okay, well, I was trying to be nice about it.
Yeah.
Y'all got no concept. Mom would wash out bread sacks and use them for freezer bags.
Oh my grandma did that too.
My grandmother did that too because she lived through the Depression, and you didn't just spend money haphazardly.
You can't believe what all we cleared out of Mom's kitchen. You know, she's got every Cool Whip Tupperware, you know, that for the last 60 years.
Yeah. Country crock containers.
Yeah.
I still do that.
Oh, that's good Tupperware right there.
Yeah. My family did it a lot too, but when my uncle passed away and I had to clear out his kitchen, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have Brandon deal with like 300 country crock containers. Yeah. Anyway.
Mom would wash out styrofoam cups and drink out of them for like 2 years, right? They were all stained with coffee and stuff. But she had like 12 packages of brand new styrofoam cups up in the cabinet that she never used.
You buy them so you don't have to do dishes. Then when you're done with them, you throw them away.
I don't know. My mom is crazy.
When my grandmother passed away, my mom's mom, she had a chest of drawers full of unopened linens and things like that she'd been given over the years, you know, and nightgowns and stuff like aprons. Because my grandmother got up, she got dressed, she put on an apron. So unless she was going to church or to town, after she got her frock on, she put an apron on. And I'm talking about one of those that goes around the neck and ties in the back with pockets on the front of it.
Yep.
Did she wear a house dress too? That my grandma never wore pants. She always she'd call them house dresses. They were like a cotton dress that would go down to about your knees, and then they would have buttons here or whatever.
Mhm.
With nylons on up to her knees. Those nylon stockings that go up to your knees, you know? That was like every day. Yeah.
Knee highs, and then they'd slip down or they'd roll down.
Yeah, like olive oil.
If you watch Carol Burnett's show, it went whatever the family was. It was called
Mama's Family. Yeah.
Mama's Family. She always had knee highs on, and they were always rolled up,
Yeah.
you know, right below her knees.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember seeing my grandmother in a pair of pants.
Yeah, and she'd always wear a slip. You know, the slip that goes under your skirt. I don't even know if people wear those that much anymore.
They do, and they sell well.
Oh, yeah.
So do those house dresses. If you find an old like a house
Oh,
dress. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. A half slip. I had once had a half slip fall off in front of a whole boatload of people, and I never wore one again.
Yeah, that'd be kind of embarrassing.
Yep. Well, you know, and that's, you know, being thrifty, being, you know, cheap. Nothing wrong with being cheap. You know?
No, you know, it's like my mom. My mom has always been thrifty. We never ate, well, when we were young, we never ate out unless we were on, you know, taking a trip or something like that. And now, because my family was dirt poor dirt, farmers when that my parents were young. And so my mom can do, and dad can do better. If my dad's health was, better, they could do anything they want to because they have the money in the bank.
Yep.
But as in the case of my dad, they've got all this money and my dad can't do anything.
Yeah.
We find
That's
out
the
next
problem
week
with that
whether he's
whole-
going to be able to see again or not.
Oh wow. Why is he losing his eyesight? Did he get like glaucoma or something?
No, detached corneas.
Oh yeah. And they
that's-
can't replace them?
It's the reattaching.
Oh.
Our resident medical specialist here, she probably knows what I'm talking about. It's like the cornea just will not reattach itself solidly to the eye.
Oh yeah.
So it
Yeah,
there's
that's
just been a
hard.
lot of problems. So it's been since November, this last one they've done. So the doctor says everything's looking really good. They're on the 26th, they take out the oil that they use to keep the cornea in place.
Hmm.
And we're hoping, because my mom and I were talking Sunday when I was down there. She walked me out to my car. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do if he's not able to see. She said, if he's not able to see, she says, I'm not trying to jinx anything. She said, but I don't think he'll make it to Christmas
Oh,
because he has always been Mr. Independent.
Right.
hard.
And now he's got a walker,
Mhm.
and it's really, it's bad.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Todd, you got all that money. Don't wait. Say we're going to start taking trips one of these days. Maggie, you and Michael, same thing. You got all this money, hoard it away.
Yeah, we're rolling in it.
Don't say we're going to do all this stuff.
Us too.
Don't say all this. Don't say we're going to do this stuff one of these days. You need to do it now because there might
Yeah,
not be
I
another
hear
day.
you.
I agree. I think
Here's an example of mom's thrifty. You see this old coffee can?
mhm.
Yeah.
She saved every twist tie that came off of every bread bag that was ever. Some of these have got to be like, and I brought them home so I can use them like when I've got an electric cord on a
So you
on a
fell right
radio.
into it.
radio or something. So I inherited all these 50-year-old.
Thank God. Thank
Wire
God you brought him
ties.
home. You fell right into her hoarding of twist ties.
Yeah.
Hank says she can't count how many the used popsicle sticks she's had to throw out, clearing out rooms and buildings. Like, why would people keep popsicle sticks?
They're crafts. You
So Michael just said make things.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy. We're just praying for the best. But you know what, Todd? You're going to be working on something at 11 o'clock at night, and you're going to need. I need a bread tie. I
Yep.
need something, and you're going to just reach over there and pull one out of that can of all those things that you were just talking about your mom saving. You better say thank you, Mom. I love you.
My uncle did the same thing. Like, I mean, his like utensil drawer would have this tray in it full of bread ties. I threw them away.
You were talking about the country crock. There was something that was real popular before country crock.
Like parquet.
Yeah, parquet. That's what it was. I helped a friend clean out. This was years ago before I was doing reselling. I helped a friend clean out her aunt's house, and she had a cupboard that must have been, say, 30 inches wide. Top up on the top cabinets in the kitchen. It was full of stacked parquet and country crock tubs.
I can't believe it's not butter.
And my friend was going, I don't know why she said, and then right beside it, she has had all this
Butter,
Tupperware.
but it's not.
She must have had every piece of Tupperware that Tupperware ever turned out.
Everything's better with Blue Bonnet on it.
You think it's butter.
I'll
It's not.
I'll say this. When I had my mother died. We had to go through her stuff. When Jim's parents moved out of Eagle River, we had to help clean out that house. My uncle died. I had to clean out that house and sell it. What I learned is I don't want to leave a lot of stuff that has no value for my kid to get rid of when I croak. So if I save it, and you can't tell by behind me, it has to be worth something. I'm not gonna save like margarine containers or stuff like that. Or like my uncle, he always liked to mess around with wood up in the rafters of his garage. I mean, he just had every piece of board he ever cut off. You know, it'd be a foot long to 3 foot long. You can't really do much with it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna save that stuff because I'm not gonna have my kid trying to clean this stuff out when I die.
And that makes complete sense. You know, I mean, it's good to be thrifty. It's good to hold
Yeah.
on to things that you might need, but you kind of have to think about it and say, you know, do I really need this?
Yeah. If I keep it, if I decide to keep it, it has to have like value.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's something I'm gonna like hoard up in cabinets or pack away, I'm not gonna pack away country crock containers. It has to have value because I think like, not that I plan on dying, but not soon. I don't want to have my kid like when I'm 80 and pass away. Like, why did mom keep 300 country crock containers? Or anyway.
You got stuff in those, don't you? You got things in them, right?
But
In
yeah,
what?
they're in handy. They got things in there I'm using them for my inventory, and
Well, that's different.
they're coming in handy, and you know.
My friend's daughter got married. Dang, look at Sally. You got money. You got monies in those things.
No, it's jewelry stuff.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That's a good way to organize.
A friend of mine's daughter got married. Her great aunt, which is my friend's aunt, gave her $500 worth of Tupperware. She said, and she told her, she said, if you do not, oh, that's cool. Unless you stick it too close to, like a burner so it melts it, she said, you'll have these things when you're 90 years old because that crap doesn't wear out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hank says, oh no, y'all do it. You gotta stop.
No, what you gotta do is if you start watching Hoarders, which is hard for me to watch, then it starts like, oh, I don't want to be like that. It gets you all spooked in that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's
Yeah.
because it's not excessive. Like I have a few of those canisters.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have cabinets and cabinets full of that stuff.
No, and like on Hoarders, as long as you're not saving like old pizza boxes and every piece of garbage you ever touched in your life or something.
you
They
know,
had this one lady on there. She was like out on the East Coast because she was preparing for the end of the world. Her house was totally stuffed. Every building was stuffed. The yard was stuffed. But she had like rolls of like carpeting that she saved that was outside. And if carpeting's outside, it rots. But when you pull it, it comes off in strings. And she's like, oh, well, you can use those strings to tie stuff up. I'm like, okay, lady, you're crazy.
I can't watch those shows because those
It's too stressful for me. I mean, like Brandon likes to watch them, and I'll watch one or two, and then I gotta quit because it makes me stressed out.
Yeah.
Roberta's heard me say, oh, I bet that'll, we'll go to the store now, and she sees me scan something, She was watching Hoarders, and there was this woman's house. Her house was clean, and apparently she would move. But she had all of the stuff everything she bought, she left it in like in like Target bags.
Oh,
She tied it
yeah.
up. But she had a nice clean path down through her house, and apparently she would take stuff onto her back porch and vacuum and dust and stuff. So it wasn't like you moved all the bags and you found dead rodents and stuff like that.
No.
She said, come here, look at this. And I came back there, and they were just throwing all these bags of stuff into a dumpster to haul to the dump. That's a bunch of
That's
stuff
the one
that can
thing
be
that
stolen.
irritates me.
Pardon me?
Like that's the one thing that irritates me on Hoarders. They got junk people. They had this one lady. She had, I don't know, something like 30,000 Barbies, in her house, all in the boxes and everything. You got the got junk people there. I'm like, you're not going to throw that stuff away. They did take it to auction, but you could see the got junk people were all like, because you know those people are sorting through that stuff and selling online
Yeah.
what has any value.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
But it's she's got the mindset about, look at all that stuff. You could sell that stuff, couldn't you? I'm like, well, being that her house is clean, other than she's just got all these bags and bags and bags. I mean, up to the ceiling. She probably took a day just to vacuum one side of her living room. You know, because the time she moved everything to the back, vacuumed and dusted everything and moved everything back in.
Yeah, I felt really bad because, you know, like, well, before I like cleaned when Job was coming, I felt really bad because I felt like a really bad housekeeper. Just because I haven't
Okay.
moved stuff. I haven't moved stuff off my couch in, 2 months, and stuff just sits and it doesn't get moved around. And when that happens, then you get dust and you get
Yeah.
spiders and sometimes mice, and I felt really like I hurt my own feelings, kind of,
Right.
because I was like, that's stupid. Why did I do that? I mean, I don't let my toilet get nasty or anything, but why would I do that? Something that, I mean, nobody sees this except me, Jonah, and Brandon,
Right.
usually, and so that's, I mean, and you guys, I mean, I don't have people over, so, it's just, but
Well-
I shouldn't do it just because of me. I shouldn't do it.
I have a problem with
I
my
gotta be
desk
better.
area. Like where I sit and work, that gets like very helter skelter. I gotta like clean it up. I get like
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like I stack the stuff up around me, and pretty soon I'm cocooned by eBay.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I did that, because like I have stuff that I like to keep close to me, like stuff that, like my jewelry stuff. I have that down here on a shelf, so at least it has a place now. At least it
Right.
has a place now, and it's not just. I mean, usually it would be like all over. I had a tub of shoes underneath my desk, and I took it out, and I took some sandals out of it that I could see, and I took the rest of it out the door
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm scared. And when you're scared of a bin that's sitting underneath your desk by your feet,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be there.
Yep.
And so I was like, I don't even want to look at this, so bye-bye.
We need 2 more people so we can play Brady Bunch.
Do we have, how many do we have? 6?
7.
Brady Bunch.
My mom's house is spotless all the time. It's always been spotless all the time. Even when we were children, my dad said your mother's house was spotless. And used to really tick my dad off. I mean, not my dad, but my in-law, my mom's in-laws, my dad's brothers and sisters, and her sisters and brothers, because my mom's house was spotless. She didn't work outside the home. I'm not going to say she didn't work, because she was a housewife. And
Right. And that's work.
Yeah, that's work. But she, the reseller squares. But her house has always been spotless. And then you go over there and she says, your daddy's just been a handful this week and I haven't cleaned up anything. And my younger brother and I will walk over to their coffee table and just do like we're writing our name in it. And we'll go, no, it's fine, Mom. I can't leave a message to Roberta saying, get me all clean.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand, like people that stay home and clean,
Right.
and like I wish I could be that good But even if I was home all day, I probably wouldn't be as good of a housekeeper as, even as I am now. I probably wouldn't spend that time cleaning the house. And I can get too involved with stuff like that. Like sometimes I can get very addicted to cleaning.
Well, when you get addicted to cleaning, come over to my house.
I used to be a little bit OCD about that.
Yeah.
But I had people over my house all the time, like kind of on the daily, so my house was, well, it wasn't a house, but it was an apartment, but it was pretty spick and span.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody that's watching this show right now is looking around their house going, after this damn thing goes off, I gotta clean this place out.
Yeah.
It's like we're gilding people.
I put the tree up here.
There you
go. But I have to take the lights off of it because they don't work. But they're like wound in with this little thing that goes on the tree limb. They're like wound in or whatever, and so I have to cut each of those off, and so I'm cutting the wire.
Why would you do that though? Why wouldn't you just put lights all over it? Oh.
I'm gonna put other lights on it.
I know, but why go?
But I don't want the ones that are not working.
Well,
really, Valerie, she wants it to look right.
Cover up the lights with some more lights, and or I wouldn't even have a tree. But that kind of goes without saying. But I have a tree now, so I can't say that.
Right.
I can never say that again.
Do you remember me selling the pink Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Well, the lady sent me a text message saying, if you ever run it, because she said, where did you get it from? I said, I got it out of a storage unit. She says, well, if you ever get a yellow one or purple one, let me know. Oh. And I'm like, oh, baby, I just put you in my Rolodex.
I think you could buy them at Walmart. I know I saw a purple one, or at least at Menards.
Was it a big one or a small one?
It was about 5.5 feet tall.
I'm thinking a small because my sister's got a purple one. It's about 24 inches tall.
This sucker was bright pink with bright pink lights and white lights on it, and she loved it. And everybody that she showed it to apparently she was using it for decoration in her pink bedroom, her guest bedroom that's pink. She said everybody that came to stay during the holidays just loved that Christmas tree. Oh. I said, well, you should have sent me a picture of it.
My daughter wants a black one.
Pardon me?
My daughter wants a black one so she can decorate it for Halloween and then change it over to Christmas when.
You could do it with a black one. You could do a good Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's what I'm saying. She wants to do Nightmare Before Christmas. She loves.
I want a black one to hang on my Star Trek ornaments on.
Yeah, or Star
I've never
Wars.
seen a black one.
I've seen a black one. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
If somebody turned a black one into a Darth Vader, they put the helmet on the top, and then they had the lightsaber and the red lights, and then black boots at the bottom with the cape on the back.
I wanted to get a white tree. I was gonna do the Trump tree, but I only ended up putting up one tree.
Julie said the intro to the show should be all of you guys doing the Brady Bunch.
Look at that.
That's right. That would be fun.
Yeah.
We'd have to keep shuffling around till Valerie was right in the middle. Where NB Davis is at.
It's on everybody's page, isn't it? Because I'm on like the top middle.
You're the top left on mine, and I'm the middle top.
See, on mine, you're on the right side.
You're in my top left, and I'm in the top middle. Todd's in the top right. Tara is NB Davis. She's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Maggie's
not on YouTube though. On YouTube, I'm like right under Tom.
Yeah, that's where you're at. That's where you're at. You're right under me.
Maggie's in the middle.
Didn't know where everybody was even at. So.
It must go in the order you come into the Hangout.
Well, if you turn your camera off, it shuffles everything around.
Right.
Oh.
So you'll come back in a different position.
Oh.
But
Morning, Joanna.
Uh-oh, she said she just got home from attempting to take the kids to school. School was closed apparently, but they didn't tell me.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord.
are you kidding? We have some kind of phone system that our phone will ring at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I've called to tell them we don't have children in the school district anymore
Yeah.
to take us off. Saying school has been closed due to inclement weather.
Oh wow, Kathy. She says my toughest list, ill list that eventually was a huge bag of Barbie shoes, vintage Barbie shoes, comb, etc. Just donated because I was never going to go through it all.
Oh, you could just lot them sucker up in a damn.
I'd have allotted them.
Yep, I'd put it all in a lot and just said, have at it.
I lotted up. I got that Barbie thing. I bought 3 boxes of Barbie and Barbie accessories for $15. And when I got done selling it, I sold it for a little over $1,200.
Oh, wow.
The accessories like shoes, bags, whatever, I just lotted up, and I think I got like 50 or 60 bucks for them.
Yep.
They were all 1960s Barbies. They were like from 65 to 68, somewhere in there.
A friend of mine was over here one day, and he's got a little girl, or he's got a little granddaughter, and she lost her Barbie shoes. And he was looking around. He says, "By any chance you got any Barbie shoes?" And I'm like, "Have you become a collector?" He said, "No, for Annalisa." And I said, "Oh, I'm sure I do." So I went over there and handed him a can, and I said, "Coffee can." Said, "Start digging through here." So he found 2 pairs of them. He says, "How much you want for them?" I said, "Just you can have them." And he says, "No." And when I went to the bathroom, well, he was leaving, and I walked him to the kitchen door, and then I went to the bathroom. Well, when I came back, there was a $5 bill sitting on the corner of the counter in the kitchen. I guess he had reached back in the house and set it all there. He said, and later on I texted him. I said, "You didn't have to do that." And he said, I got to keep anyway, it was like I was his drug dealer, you know. I got to make sure my connection stays happy.
That's right. That's right. Good morning, fried steak. How you doing?
I had that Barbie accessory lot because there was stuff like little boas and other stuff. But then some of the Barbies had clothes on. I had like this guy who kept pestering me. "Oh, if you'd have taken the time to put those outfits together, you'd have gotten more money for them." They all had condition issues. I'm thinking, well, then buy it, dude. I don't care.
Yeah. Crazy.
You always get like the person that'll say, "Oh, you could make so much more money," but yet they never bid on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's funny.
Well, we had snow here this morning. I don't think it's snowing right now. It's kind of like almost a freezing fog out. But we're supposed to get 1 to 3 today.
Ooh.
Yep, fun. Gotta love that snow.
No snow this winter. None.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
It's been a really weird year. Like Florida and the Carolinas, they're all cold over there. My daughter was just, freezing yesterday. She said it's just so cold here.
Yeah, it was in the upper 20s yesterday here.
Yeah.
Lord.
That's pretty chilly for that area. But yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit of snow today, and then I think we got a break, and then next week it's supposed to snow again. So,
Oh, good Lord.
The way it is. Laura, you doing all right? You hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm getting around a lot better.
That's
So
good.
not as much pain. Only if I turn it a certain way, but other than that, I think it's actually healing some. So I'm happy with that. I think by the time I get to do the MRI, I might just need therapy. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping. So I'm hoping nothing's torn and just, keeping it up as much as I can is letting it heal anyway. So
If you rub your foot on the end of a treadmill while it's running, you'll forget all about that sore knee.
yeah.
I don't think you will, because when that knee goes out when it's injured, I mean, that would really make you go insane.
Big trouble.
I've done it. I have a messed up knee because I blew my knee out once. Yesterday I was kicking some hay and I kicked a piece of frozen ground on accident and I popped my knee out of place. So I'm like, I had the gate open because Jim's up in there with the truck. And so I'm hopping on one foot. He's like, oh no, not again. I'm like, just bring me a chair. I have to sit down in a chair. And then I have to work myself into it so I can pop my knee back into place and then it's okay.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, Mr. Sadie, it means you got too much crap when you can just start pulling Barbie shoes out of a coffee can.
Yep. Good morning, Bluegrass Picker. Good morning, Estate Sale Queen.
Well, that's a good name, Estate Sale Queen.
Yeah.
Both of my brothers have daughters, and he said both of them have made the same comment that Barbie shoes should have to be licensed as lethal weapons. Because he said you walk through a house at 3:00 in the morning and step on one of those pumps right in the bottom of your foot. He said you'll say some ungodly things.
Yeah, you say bad words.
Yeah.
Estate Sale Queen says, I've been a lurker for a while. Is it okay if I ask a question? By all means, go ahead and ask.
Please do.
If you're a first timer, ask questions. As you know, these girls never shut up on the show.
Oh boy, Tom. Ooh, you're sassafras today.
Yeah.
Sassy.
Give him a snippet.
I'm trying to find a message.
Are all of you full-time eBay or do you have other income? Well, for me, I'm full-time. I do have other income coming in, but this is my full-time gig. I don't have an outside job. So yeah. But, Sally, she works a full-time job outside of the home and then she works part-time. I mean, it's hard to say if it's, is it part-time or is it full-time? She does what she can with her eBay and Poshmark. And, when she's not at work at her outside job, she's working on her eBay.
Doing something.
Yeah.
I'm retired, so I get a pension and I do my eBay on the side. I mean, sometimes I feel like I put in full-time hours, but
yeah.
I'm a part-timer hoping to become part-time this year.
Oh, boy.
And I'm retired, so I have a little pension, and then my wife is she still works full-time.
yeah, Tom's a kept man.
Mr. Say said a reselling question. We were not prepared for all that.
I got to think about that.
And Mr. Sadie, doesn't he work a job? So he must be walking around with those airless earbuds or whatever. You see them, the two little white things in people's ears.
Mm-hmm.
He must be walking around listening to the show while he's dealing with vegetables or.
Kathy, I do too sleep.
Unless she's on
Except
screen.
like on days that I work nights, I only get about 6 hours usually. Unless I just start from the morning and I just sleep. Yesterday it was broken. It was very broken all day long. So I probably got about 5. But on days that I'm off, sometimes I get 12, sometimes I get 14. So it just depends on how I feel.
Yeah, me and Jim do it full time. We have no other income at all. And we only sell on eBay, so everything has to come in off of eBay.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it because eBay's broken, and I don't know how they feed their family.
Well, eBay's changed. I will say that. I mean, if I think back to eBay 8 years ago, eBay's definitely changed.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I think eBay was a little easier to sell on 8 years ago. I mean, the buyers changed a little bit.
Yeah. So Estate Sale Queen says, I lost my job a couple of years ago and have been struggling really bad with eBay. I tried Etsy and Amazon, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. And she says, I was just wondering how many people make a living off of just eBay.
I wonder what kind of thing she sells.
Oh, that's a lot of it. It's a hustle. I mean, if that's your only source of income, you got to be hustling all the time.
Well, I'll say this, and this is me personally, and I have no income. I have no pension, no nothing coming in. My husband doesn't work. He ships the boxes and I do most of the listing. I don't source at thrift stores. I mean, if I'm going past the Goodwill, like there's a Goodwill by Walmart, I'll go peruse it. But most of my sourcing comes from auctions because it's where I can get the most good quality stuff for my buck. And then I come home and list it. And that's how I do it. I mean, and I'll do estate sales, but like rummage sales, I don't really source very much at rummage sales. I don't source very much at thrift stores. It's too much chasing around. I would prefer to go to a good auction, sit there all day, and bring home a truck of stuff. Oh, off that front, yeah.
Our thrift stores have gotten to where hard goods, they don't have anything. You know, you go into, but they've got plenty of clothes. And the manager that I've come to know, he's like, I got 10 bales of clothes in the back there.
Yeah.
Do you think a YouTube channel drive people? I don't think so. I mean, you'll have like a YouTube channel, you'll have other resellers watching it, but I don't know if it would really drive stuff to the sale in your own personal eBay store.
My problem with a thrift store is, I mean, not that we hit thrift stores. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if there's one there, we'll hit it. But I mean, it's not our main sourcing because at an auction, people are selling stuff they think is valuable. They're expecting to get money for it. At a thrift store, it's stuff that people literally gave away. So you're going to get some stuff slip through the cracks, but I think you're going to do a lot better. I would prefer personally the auction.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can use your YouTube channel if you have, lots of content that you want to share. It's a good way to get content out and get followers and viewers and stuff like that. That's a great way, but that can be an income stream for you if that's something that you wanted to do. But I wouldn't say it would necessarily drive people to your eBay store. I wouldn't use it for that.
No.
Good morning, Beth.
I think the biggest thing is, work on your eBay list like there's no tomorrow.
Just list.
And list good stuff. Look up your comps, look up, what it's selling for. Try to get, what you do have as far as inventory. Mm-hmm. Try to get it as cheap as you possibly can. And try different stuff. Try hard goods, try clothing, try collectibles, get different stuff in there.
She said she does the collectibles, art, books, all kind of things.
That's good eBay stuff.
Yeah.
So, you have to keep trying.
Oh, did you, Beth? Beth ordered a second menswear box.
Oh, good.
I thought she did really well with the one she had.
A lot of people kind of discount the menswear, but It's a very good area to, you know, of clothing to sell. You can make some good money selling men's clothing. If you know some brands, and a lot of times like Carhartt, Duluth, Columbia, those are really good men's brands to buy. You know, and also, you know, dress shirts and stuff like that. I think it's a really good area to buy. But you got, you know, that's the thing, is you got a list, you gotta keep working at it, and you know, I would recommend, and a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people just do eBay, but everybody's different. That's the thing about this, is you can do it your own way. Do the best you can. But you can, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
Well, Chicken Fried Steak says, try all you're doing and all you ain't. Get outside that firebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of got to try it all. Come on, Karen.
You know, utilize your sales, your markdown manager, and your promoted listings if you can, and you know,
just play around with it. The key is trying to list through the slow times. Because like me, my promoted sales, I only do 1%. I never do higher than 1%. I don't do markdown manager. I don't run sales. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Don't have best offer on my items either.
Not to change the subject, but Valerie, but do you know what the what your shelves are, like the length and stuff?
The what?
Like the length and height of your shelves?
Of these metal ones?
Yeah.
Not right off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I can get that for you.
Oh my God, they're going to talk about reselling now.
They look like they're like 60 inches tall.
Okay, so I don't get very many views on my items, usually less than 30, but for some reason they don't buy, they just watch. Well, that's the thing, you can utilize your offers to watchers. So you utilize that. So when somebody's watching an item, you have that chance to send them an offer, and that's very good to utilize. That's what I was going to say. You want to have, I would recommend, if you're selling a little bit of everything, if you're selling clothing, I would recommend putting that stuff on Poshmark and Mercari. Have a few income streams that are coming in, rather than putting it all onto eBay. But the main thing is to list good stuff at good prices, and you'll sell.
And list. You know, Jim and Tara are supporting themselves off this business. Tara's always listing. You know, Bridget, after her job ran out, she went full time and she lists all the time because she's got to make an income, and they do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But
but there's ups and downs. I mean, for me, I'll go through like slow times where the buyers just aren't really out there that good.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm used to it because Jim used to sell real estate. You don't sell houses every day, so you'll have busier times and then slower times.
Yeah.
And there's 5 shelves or only 4?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And I think I don't know if she got the same one that I did.
Okay.
Weren't mine a little bit shorter? I think mine were a little bit shorter. I don't even have my measure. You know, when you're not selling anything, that should give you an incentive to list. You know, if you got a big old goose egg for the day and haven't gotten any offers, you haven't gotten anything, you know, nothing sold, then you need to be listing. And there's a lot more to the business than just listing. I mean, you got to put inventory away, you got to pack up inventory. You know, you got to, you know, do your bookkeeping and all that. But listing is the most important because listing will bring sales.
Okay.
Yeah, Beth. She says cheaper to buy another unit than buy the shelves separately. A guy that lives down the road, he's cleaning out his he's got a two bay garage behind his house, and he was cleaning it out, and he went to Lowe's and he bought those like industrial type shelving, you know, the heavy ones.
Yeah.
Well, he was wanting to because he's putting stuff in tubs out there, and by the time he got all his shelves adjusted, so you know there's just enough room to slide these tubs into it. He needed more shelves. Well, it was cheaper for him to go buy another complete set than it was for him to just go buy the two shelves for it. What are y'all laughing about?
Carol. She says, I've been watching for a long time. I want to know what is up with that hand.
Whose hand?
The hand in Todd's picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you can definitely, she says, I watch some YouTube channels mostly to learn, and it seems like they're making tons of money. It's not very good for self-esteem. No, but that, you know, you don't know. The thing about YouTube videos is they may be telling you, they may be throwing out numbers. You know, I made, you know, $15 million, you know, this year or whatever. That's probably a little over the top, but anyway, you don't know what they spent on the item. You don't know, you know, their fees. You don't know all the specifics. So you can't. They may have made $15 million, but they may have spent $14 million to get the stuff. So don't base it on. Don't try to be like anybody else. Try to do, you know, try to grow your business for yourself. And, you know, one thing that I try to do is I try to grow my numbers, just my numbers. I'm not going on anybody else's. I try to grow those numbers every month to month. And that's how I know where I'm at. You know, I look at my sales for the month. If I've sold 100 items for the month, I want to try to sell, you know, 150. Try, you know, set some goals for yourself. But it is a hustle.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, and like for me personally, because we do this full time, we have no other income. I'll say if you could keep your cost of living down as much as you can, you know, I don't have any cars or I have a car payment on it, or, you know, I don't have a mortgage on my house. I try not to have a lot of obligations so that when times are a little like slower, I can weather it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Sadie says most people show the good and never the bad.
Yeah. And there's a lot of bullshit artists out there too. So you gotta take that into it too. Because see, I'm sharing this morning my feelings. that's what I believe.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, people they want to make it seem like, you know, they're doing really good, and so that you'll listen to what they say. Well, I'll tell you right now, if you know, unless those people show you their eBay page, don't listen to a word, you know, unless they want to be completely you know, what do you
Transparent.
call it?
Transparent.
Transparent.
Yeah, transparent. And you know, show you their eBay numbers, then I wouldn't indulge into that. I wouldn't care
Well,
about
you
what
have
they
a
say about
double-edged
that.
sword there because you have like people trying to make YouTube money too. So they're,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, would you get a lot of subs if you said, "Hey, I'm really failing at eBay and I suck
Yeah.
at it. You know, come, I'm going to give
Yeah,
you
probably
advice." I mean,
not.
it'd be hard to give you advice, you know, like for getting your sub count up and getting paid by monetized on eBay and I mean on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, and you might want to look at, maybe you need to expand your stuff that you're selling. Look at Jim and Tara's channel at stuff that they bought at auction. Look at Alabama Pickers. Look at Lost Treasure 73, because they buy some really off the wall stuff. But you know, and check out, you know,
Yeah, remember me?
yeah, Sally stuff. Sally, I was trying to remember if Sally did
And you got to say it all, Tom.
okay, Sally and to Valerie, because they're pretty heavy into clothes, but they do buy other stuff too.
Mm.
And Lori, she's all over the spectrum too.
Yep.
I don't buy none of my shit. I dig it out of the dumpster.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
just kidding.
I remember something that that Tara said, and she says it's kind of one of her things, but you know, she always says the more lines you have in the water, the more bites you're going to get.
Right.
So, you know, the best thing that you can do for your business is to list a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to set myself a schedule up so I wasn't only just listing clothes, even though that's what I have, you know, the most of. I still need to fill my store with a lot of different things. I need to, you know, sprinkle it with some jewelry and some shoes and some hard goods, and you know.
We always kind of, when we did this, we always said we wanted to be like the Walmart. Okay.
Offer
You're not
everything.
just going to sell $500 items. You have to have a balance of like $20, $30 items and stuff like that. And I also think personally, to be full-time, and my listing count is down. I've only got like 1,400 listings. You should be up in that, ideally 2,000, 2,500 items listed.
If you're an anchor, you should be at 3,500.
If you're an anchor store, you should be at 3,500 listings.
I mean, if you do the math, I mean,
if you did them, yeah. And I was an anchor, and I don't have an anchor right
because we
now.
don't have enough listings.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, we all fight, you know, every day in, day out, you know, for sales but you gotta list, and you gotta list, you know, you can't list stuff that has, well, I mean, you can't even say that because Sally sold a t-shirt that was thin and you know, it was
from Walmart.
It was from Walmart. But you know, stuff like that sells too. So you kind of have to just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks.
Well, there's, like I was telling
No, we're
Valerie,
not selling it if it sticks.
there's like you know, there's these t-shirts with like Family Guy stuff on them, you know, that, you know, my son I think bought when he was in high school or something, and he wore it for a little bit, and so I mean it's thin, it doesn't have like holes in it or anything or falling apart, but it's thin, and somebody saw the design and liked the design. It says paddle fast, they're in a boat, and it says paddle faster, I hear banjos. And so, you know, like somebody wants that design and that they can't, you know, get it anymore. So, you know, you never know what is going to sell.
Just have to
If you got
put it
time
out
to
there.
list it, throw it up there and
Yeah.
see if it'll sell.
If it
Because
doesn't
there's-
sell, then redonate it and make space for something else.
I think like when times are, this is my personal opinion, when times are lean, like when eBay's slow, it's very easy to say, well, I don't want to spend any money, you know, eBay's not doing that good. for me, I'm a little bit the opposite. I'm like, I need to go out there to an auction and go bring in fresh stuff because that's what livens up my store. But I will say it is a thing to overcome because when it's not doing real great, I mean, it's not like you want to go dump $300-400 at an auction. But I will say that influx will perk your store up. That's how you get the numbers in it.
Yeah, and also that's the best part of being a reseller to most people is the sourcing part. And so it may make you want to do, it's like, you're making work for yourself kind of, but don't think about that whenever you're sourcing. When you get home, say, okay, well, now I need to list this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Like I tell Teresa, I'm the CEO all the way down to the janitor on my business. I mean, that's just how it works.
That's what you are.
But you have to be, there has to be some discipline, and you have to realize, you just can't,
You can't set it and forget it.
You can't do that, but you got to work hard at it. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, I got above 1,000, and then trying to get to 1,050 has been a struggle. But I'm not complaining. I am not complaining.
I crashed my store when I moved. That July and August. I think like when I came down here and really started listing again, I mean, I'm kind of ashamed to say my 30-day total was like $2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh my God, I hope I can turn this shit around. And it got better in fourth quarter, but I'm still turning it around.
Yeah. It takes a while, I think.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, because I crash my store almost every freaking month, at least. I'm like, shit, I haven't listed in 4 days. Something's gonna happen.
And eBay is so funny. I sold 0 day before yesterday, and yesterday I sold 12 items for $350. So
yeah. I sold 11 items 2 days ago, and yesterday I was lucky to make one. It's like it's a fickle bitch, is what my dad would call it. It's a fickle bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what my dad was. Sorry, that's what he would say. That's a fickle bitch.
Well, I'll see if I find one.
It says I recommend going and catching inventory.
How would you ship it?
Yes, I agree, Beth. I agree.
Go put stuff in your room.
Yes. I just said that like 2 days ago. I just said that like 2 days ago. Go in there and move stuff around where you have your inventory, move stuff around, look at it, and you might see something that you're like, oh, I haven't seen that.
Well, somebody
in a
sold
while.
it was off of a Comet, sold that like front grill that's similar to that for $45. No, I don't think so.
But I mean, it might help you in your inventory. It might help you,
somebody sold it,
move stuff around, and so you're able to find stuff better, so.
I got yelled at. I'm not allowed to buy anymore. Teresa pulling my order. She says, "You have plenty to list. You do not need to go to the thrift shop, auctions, or nothing."
I'm gonna list all my stuff today. Well, not all my stuff, of course, but I'm gonna list my stuff today, and then tomorrow I'm going to a rummage sale for our church.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to.
I don't usually have those in the winter.
I can't drive at the moment, so because I can't get up in my truck, so I'm kind of like at her mercy.
You would be screwed if you had my truck, because I have to lift my leg all the way, like waist high.
Oh yeah, mine's pretty high.
I have to lift it waist high to get my leg in the.
But I'm almost 6 foot tall too, so I mean.
Oh well.
Oh wow, you're tall.
I'm not tall.
I was 5 foot. I was 5'10" 3/4" until I had my surgery. And I lost an inch when they fused my spine.
Wow.
So now I'm 5'9".
I look like a midget next to you. I'm lucky if I'm 5'2".
Your hair's growing back in nicely, Lori.
Yeah. That's like Teresa said she's got to go get her hair cut. It's getting long. I said, yeah, I do too. Mine's getting in my face.
Okay.
A little peach fuzz up there.
Did you watch Big Bang Theory, Lori?
I do, yeah. I love Big Bang
Okay, I don't
Theory.
want you to start doing the Sheldon thing. You know, when Sheldon needs a haircut, he's like this,
Yeah.
doing that all the time, and his hair is not even getting down to his eyes.
I love that show.
So did y'all get everybody set up on how to do their eBay business now?
Yeah.
It's not easy. I will say that.
It
Like
is.
you have like people like, oh yeah, like it's just you don't do any work and it's just like really easy and the money just rolls in.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. I will say that.
But you know what y'all were saying about having a little bit of everything. If you go to the mall now, all these specialty like clothing stores and stuff like that, they've gone out of business.
Yeah. Because
You know.
of online sales are a lot higher now than the stores. They say that's as it plays a lot into that where stores are shutting down because so many people are turning to eBay, Amazon, ThreadUp, Mercari, looking for better deals, even if it's used.
A lot of competition out there too.
Yeah, and there's a lot.
I mean, than
yeah.
there used to be.
I mean, if you go to our local mall, I bet you 25% of the stores are empty now.
We have one of our malls.
Now
our
it's a
local
regional mall for this area, so they will fill them back up. But you know, like Charlotte Russe closed down, all of those kind of stores, those mall clothes type stores have shut down.
Now we have the outlet mall over here that has all the name brands, the Ralph Lauren's, all that stuff, the Brooks Brothers, and all the top designers. But you know, they're kind of in an area where it's a rural area, and not a lot of those people can afford that. They come from
Right.
Cincinnati to shop there, and Westchester area where all the ritzy people live. But there's a lot of farmers out here that don't wear Ralph Lauren, you know, or
Yeah.
they wear Levi or Wrangler or Walmart. That's what they wear. So it's hard.
Valerie, did Tina bring you down to the outlet mall?
No.
Well, when you come back, if she won't bring you down there, I'll come up and get you and take you to it. Because I mean, it's all like Coach and Gucci and all of one
Can
of
you
those
come
kind of
get
outlet
me?
places, huh?
Can you come get me?
Well, you come to Charlotte and I'll come get you where you stay.
Your credit card too, right?
No, come get me right now. I need to be rescued.
But I'll take you down there. I mean, just so you can see. I've been over there and actually found some. They're having specials and all that kind of stuff, and found some deals.
That's
Roberta likes
good
Coach
way.
purses,
Mm-hmm.
and so the Coach purse that she has, she was at the one in Gatlinburg.
Uh-huh.
They have the same kind of outlet over there. And it was like everything on the store was like 30% off plus because she signed up for the email list, they got another 15% off. So her Coach bag, she didn't pay very much for it. And I said, well, why didn't you, if they were going to give you that kind of deal on your whole total purchase, you should have bought you a couple other ones. Well, I didn't think you'd want me to spend that kind of money. I've never told her she couldn't spend money because she's real frugal with her.
I mean,
And I said, then you should have called me.
Yeah.
If you were waiting for my permission, you should have called me. But I would just said, whatever. Why are you calling me? Get what you want.
That's a good way to put it, Kathy. She says our businesses are truly our babies. We're parents trying everything to see what works.
Yeah.
It's like when, your kid does something, like my kid, his elbow popped out of socket when he was, I think he was 2 years old or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you don't know what to do. You've never seen this before. So it's like, you don't know what's going to work to help fix it, and,
oh my God, that would so freak me out.
You know,
I'd have
it's
been like,
like
I don't know what to do. Oh my
yeah.
God.
So it's like, you know, it's the same thing with our businesses. We're just like, you know, trying to do everything that we can to make it work.
Yep.
You know?
And one thing might work one day and it may not work the next. And you kind of just have to duck and weave and try something different, you know. Estate Sale Queen says, I'm burning through savings, so I'm trying to figure this all out. You guys are very nice here. Thank you for helping me. If ever you need, you know, any kind of help or motivation or whatever, you know, you can always call on us. She said my expenses are a bit high, so I need about 4 times that, Mr. Sadie. If I could give you any advice, is get your expenses down. If you have cable, cut your cable. You don't need TV.
There's a lot of streaming services now that you don't even have to pay for.
You know, you can live without it. It's difficult. It's difficult at first, but you know, cut down your you know, if you have a cell phone, try to cut that down. Try to look at ways that you can cut your expenses, and that does help a lot. You know, I would just put it down on paper and see what you could cut out. That's what I did. You know, and we were cable holics. We loved our cable, and that was the only thing really left to cut, and we had to cut it. And we struggled through that because we actually had to talk to each other.
Well, like on Netflix and stuff, I mean, there's so many TV shows and stuff nowadays that,
Oh yeah.
you know, you really don't need cable. Because cable, the problem with cable is you go through and you watch everything for the first week or everything's repeated after that the rest of the month.
Yeah. So, you know, just
I actually enjoy streaming more than cable.
just try to cut your expenses and stuff and list.
Well, now with like that Cineflix, I mean, you can watch anything you can watch on cable through that.
Yeah.
Or is that how you say it, Nikki? Is it Cineflix or Cinemaflix or whatever? And it's free.
Cyberflix?
Yeah, Cyberflix. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
that too.
Junk Trader says, but then I guess this is from back when we were talking about the stores closing down in the mall. She says, but them dang DGs, Dollar Generals, keep popping up.
Yeah, they do.
They're popping up like dandelions.
Okay,
I have
the
3 of them.
reason why is because they don't have very much into it.
Right.
Unless it's into a strip center, something like that location. If you're driving down Country Road number 906 and all of a sudden there's a damn Dollar General out there, that's because somebody has some land, that person has some money to build a building, and he contacts Dollar General and says, what do you think about putting one out here on my land?
Yep.
And Dollar General looks at the area and says, sure, when you get it, we'll send you the specs, you build it, and
Do they only rent? Do they only rent the building?
They only rent the buildings out there.
No.
If you build it,
I have 3 of them in this
Yeah.
town I live in. There's 3 Dollar Generals, but if you look at them, I mean, what are they? They're very convenient, cheap.
Yeah.
I need this today kind of items. They're nothing like super
Mhm.
expensive in there.
No.
See?
We have a Dollar General Market that actually has groceries too.
Oh, I see those down here too. There's not one in my town, but we have one in Greensburg. I went in it. I mean, it's not, I didn't think it's that great, but I mean, I got the super Walmart, so I just go over there.
I mean, I'd
And if
rather
you
pay-
ever shop with Jim, I mean, you cannot like change stores or he'll freak out right in the store. He's so insane. No.
Dollar General is like Food Line. I mean, not Food Line, like Family Dollar.
Mhm.
I would think those are, to me, those are like community stores. Like,
Mhm.
it would not bother me if there was a Dollar General like a block up the street from us, because it'd be convenient as hell. And the
Mhm.
only people that shop there would be the people out in this area, because nobody's going
Right.
to drive all the way down here to a
Right.
Dollar General. It's sort of like back in the olden days when Todd was a boy, you know, they had, you know, the community subdivisions, or, you know, city blocks of houses. Usually there was one corner that had a little market on it, and you know, a barbershop, beauty shop, that kind of stuff, because people didn't have cars, they walked. And that's what I think when I think of Dollar General and Family Dollar.
Is that
that's
what
I
you
think
did,
of.
Tom? I just
Ma'am?
picture you. I picture you walking around town as a little boy with your knickers on, like with a stick with one of those wagon wheel hoops, rolling it down the street
Or
side.
the high rider bicycle with the giant wheel in the front.
He's got one of those big lollipops, you know, with the swirls and stuff, walking around town.
Okay, I did not wear
Represent
knickers. I wore
Lollipop
shorts.
Guild.
With the Lord Farquaad haircut.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God. I don't think Jim shared it. He's got this. We were at a thrift store or something. He takes a picture of this print. It's this Lord Fauntleroy little boy, like in this pose. He's like, oh my God, Tara, look at it. It's Tom. I don't think he ever sent it. I don't think he ever put it on Facebook.
I never had. I was like 17 years old before I had long hair.
Mm.
Even little Lord Fauntleroy length. My hair was, when I was a kid, we had flat tops because we were little boys, and we, during the summer months, we were in the damn woods, the swamps, pedaling bicycles, building forts, that kind of crappy stuff. You know, nowadays kids don't do that.
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, my
Jim
dad
had to
always
cut
says that.
Brandon's hair. It was getting long, so he cut it. Because he gets the clipper job, but he left like this long part on the top. He's like, "Oh, look, Tara, here, we'll leave this long so he can grow it out, so he can have like a man bun or ponytail."
Oh,
Kim
God.
was freaking out.
Or
It
a
was
rat
funny.
tail.
No, but it
Yeah,
was up
rat
high.
tail.
Do you see the new style where they like this part will be shaved short and this, and then they'll leave this like long right here, and
So
then
they
they
can
put
put
in
in a
this
bun.
ponytail that lays like flat right here on the back of your, at the top of the back of your head.
She's
I'm like,
talking
oh, yeah,
about
we
a Greg
do that.
Cody on Sister Wives.
Does he have
No,
one? I
that-
haven't watched
Oh
it
my
in so
God, he has
long.
such a stupid
Because
haircut now.
we were on Cyberflix and Jim, oh, Sister Wives. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen it so long. I'd like to catch up. But then him and Brandon are like, no, they won't watch it. So I gotta like do that by myself, and I just haven't had time. I've been watching the impeachment hearing, so I haven't had time to watch Sister Wives.
The women are all in an uproar. They don't want to live together anymore.
Would you want to live with a bunch of other women that your
No,
husband's,
we have to
you know,
move.
sleeping
We have
with?
to move
I
or
don't think
something.
I would.
I'm just
I'd
going
be
by
like,
what
I
I've
know
seen
what
on the
I know what
commercials.
you two were doing last night. Yeah, you're ticking me off right now. Anyway.
I don't watch it. That's what I've gotten from the
Oh,
commercials.
great. Now you're sucking me in. See, I haven't watched it in like a year and a half. And now I'm like, okay, I got to go get caught up.
Oh Lord, you people kill me. You
Nikki
and
the
drama,
Instigator.
your drama channels, you know.
That's on the TV.
That's TLC.
Well,
Sister
I
Wives.
know that's still a drama.
That's the learning channel. It's for smart people, Tom.
I see the commercials. I see the commercials when I watch 1,000 Pound Sisters.
I do not.
Okay, well, see, I haven't been sucked into that one yet.
Well, it's Amy and Tammy Slayton.
Yeah.
They're YouTubers.
Are they trying to lose weight, or what's the geist of the show?
Trying to get weight loss surgery. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're 1,000 pounds together. Amy's
My
like
goodness.
400 something.
Found it.
Rachel Tessa says there's a Dollar General across the street from her house.
Did they gain the weight on purpose in order to get a TV show?
No.
Oh,
Same coat.
because isn't that the thing with Amberlyn and Reed,
looks
where
like
they
a
kind of
salt
accused her
and
of
pepper
trying to
color.
gain the weight on
That's
purpose?
the coat.
Yeah.
Not the same coat. No.
Yeah.
But there is
But
one where she's
these
wearing
guys
that
are-
coat. But that's my mom.
You could
Oh,
probably
is
go
it? Yeah.
see them there in Kentucky.
The Slater sisters are in
Come on,
Kentucky
Bambi. You
too.
want to come out with me?
Yeah.
She can stand
I
next.
know
Oh,
Amberlyn
yeah, take them
is.
both.
She's up in Lexington. Come down and visit me. We'll go to Lexington and then we'll go stalk Amberlynn Reed. She's always at that Walmart. She's always at that Walmart in Lexington, but there's a couple Walmarts up there.
Oh, that would
We'll
be
have to
some,
figure
that
out
would be
which
some
Walmart
good
she goes
YouTube
to.
there now. That'd be
Yeah,
some good
newsfeed. Here will be the new thing for my channel. How Tara got arrested stalking another YouTube content creator from a whole other community.
Get it.
Who got it?
Me.
Tara's stalking that YouTuber.
Just sold a Funko Pop.
Nice.
Hi, Rita.
I don't think I'll ever do it, but this is a good idea. You know, like those entitled videos where they read like whatever something puts. It's funny. Brandon watches them. I wanted to do like a segment like entitled eBay buyers with like the stupid messages you get.
That would be good.
That would be funny, but I don't know. I got a really good message right now. So I sold this fur coat. I don't know. It was a week and a half ago or whatever. I send it to San Diego. Jim's like, I feel this lady's going to be a pain in the ass because it's like messages. Can you sell it any cheaper? Can you ship it any cheaper? And those people usually are sort of a pain in the butt. So she's got the coat, sends us a message with a return request because she knows now that the coat is made out of cat fur and it's illegal to sell cat fur coats. And if we don't take the return, she's going to turn us into the authorities. But she has this whole big thing about how it's house cat fur and all this other stuff.
God.
What is it made out of? What is it made out
It's either, well, I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't want to put something. It's either a gray fox or it's coyote. I suspect it's gray fox. It's a branded fur coat. It's like, is it PH or PD furs? They're not making it out of freaking cat fur.
No.
I know it's not cat fur. I can tell. Because you're not going to find that many uniform cats all the same color to butcher them and sew their pelts together, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But and usually they're dyed too, I think. And this isn't a dyed fur coat. It's a fur. But you get like she's just a kook. She has this whole thing how she's going to turn us into the authorities because it's illegal in the United States to sell cat fur coats and stuff like that. And I'm just like, really? Anyway. It's January. It seems like you really get the kooks come out for returns in January.
Is her last name Cruella?
Yeah, Cruella.
Us eBay sellers like to call it Returnuary.
Yeah, Returnuary. Yeah, I'm dealing with a lady now who's trying everything she can to keep a signed poster of Kayla Harris. She's a local here, and she won the gold medal back in 2000 something. I can't remember what it is, but she bought it. It was $15. And she said she got it and it was damaged. And I could have drove a truck over that picture and that glass would not have broken. I guarantee it. Just the way I pack it. And she said she got it and the package had a big hole in it. And I said, well, send me photos. Send me photos of the package. Send me photos of the item so I can turn it in as a claim and then I'll accept your return. She says, oh, I don't know how to upload photos. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to print the return label. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I'm done. Told you everything I can do to help you get this back to me. I said, but now I said, if it's such a problem, you're going to have to call eBay from here on out because I can't help you anymore. She says, well, I just don't know how to print the label. I said, just open it and save it to PDF file. Go to your documents and print it from there. And I don't know how to do that. I'm like, well, I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing on eBay? You know, if you don't know how to run work your own computer. So, and I think what it is, she's trying to keep it and get me to.
They're smart.
Yeah, she's trying to say, well, she's trying to get me to say, well, it's so much trouble. You just keep it. I'm not doing that.
I had one in the last couple of weeks. I bought this box of this vintage Nikon stuff, and it was a vintage battery pack. And I had it at auction. It sells for just under $50. It didn't have the power cord with it, but he thought the power cord was in another lot of camera stuff that I had listed. It wasn't that. Anyway, and Jim's like, well, I don't have the power cord for it. He goes, do you want to cancel the sale and I'll just refund you? You know, because Jim's like, okay, when they start acting squirrely before you send the item, I'd rather deal with it now than have a return later. No, I still want it. Send it. We send it. He gets it, messages us, damage claim. What he did is he went inside this battery pack and there, you know, like it takes like C-cell batteries. There's like a little post, like a contact for the battery that must unscrew off. He unscrewed that off and said, see, the post is loose in there. wasn't in my photos. Jim's like, you know what? Screw this guy. Because he's not initiating a return. He's trying to get an insurance claim on it. It went first class. There's no insurance on it. Jim's like, no, just open a return, send it back. I'll just return it. He's like, oh, no, I guess I'll just keep it anyway then. But they are smart, you know, like if they could get a partial or get an insurance claim, yeah, I don't, you know.
I'm not letting this lady get away with it.
I was in an antique mall here in town, and it's up on South Boulevard, and this guy has all these vintage photos, you know, autographed photos and stuff like that. And he happened to be in there, and there was a customer that was like negotiating with on this photograph, and it's a teenage boy figure skating, and he's got an Olympic medal in his hand. It's black and white, so you can't tell what color it is. And the guy had like $20 on it, and it's autographed and dated. And the guy was saying, you know, you want $25 for it, I'll give you $5 for it. And I just happened to look over it, and I said, that's from the '64 Olympics, isn't it? And the guy said, well, it's dated '64. I said that boy won a bronze medal. And the reason I know that is because the U.S. Winter Olympic team, figure skating, something else, was on an airplane, and they crashed, and everybody was killed. So between '62 and '64, they went out and they just found the best that they could find, whether they were really Olympic quality or not. They went out and found out what was it? Not Dorothy Hamill, but it's the other big female figure skater. She hadn't skated in like 8 years. They tried to get her to come back, but she was pregnant, so she couldn't skate. But this boy was just something like the junior champion from Minnesota or someplace like that.
Wow.
And so he ended up winning a bronze. Anyway, the guy that was trying to buy it said, well, you didn't have to tell him all of that. And I said, well, it was just interesting, and you're trying to scream out of that, because he was like, you know, it's not worth nothing, and I knew he was fucking lying. So
yeah,
freaking lying.
The lady with the cat fur coat, her handle is Wild Babs. Should know that.
So anyway, there's your little history lesson from Uncle Tom this morning about the Winter Olympics, the '64 Olympics. Which is pretty, I mean, it like just, you know, nowadays people would go, you know, they would be sad that people died, but.
Yeah. So tell me again. So like people that were going to the Olympics died?
No, well, they were going to the world tournament, the world figure skating. It was the singles and the couples. They were traveling to Europe, and their plane crashed. So our whole Olympic skating team was killed.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
And they had to go out, because they only had 2 years, they had to get out, and they just had to find whoever and then practice their little asses off. But that boy is the youngest male medalist for the Olympics.
Right.
You know that there's I can't remember what her name is. She's like 13. She holds the youngest female.
Sonia Henning.
I don't remember what her name is, but she's the youngest female, and she's like 13.
Wow.
The most recent one, or the one from back in those days?
No, this is like back not too long ago, maybe in Japan. I don't remember.
No,
But it's not been too.
I thought you meant U.S. I thought you meant the U.S. representative.
Oh, she was the U.S. She won gold.
Well, that was the Michelle Kwan.
I don't remember, but she was real young when she won her, like 13. But anyway, so there's your little lesson there. I just happened to stumble upon that.
The lady with the cat fur coat, we approved the return. She still hasn't mailed the coat back.
Wow.
Neither has the lady with the Kayla Harris.
Well, listen to this message though. The message is kind of funny. This is Wild Babs. I need to return this coat to you because it is made out of cat, all caps.
I can't believe
fur.
that.
And I believe you knew this when you posted it as an unknown fur. Selling cat and dog fur in the U.S. is illegal. Therefore, I need you to send me a prepaid return label so I can return it to you. If you do this, I will not give you a bad review. But if you do not, I will feel it necessary to contact the proper authorities. She still hasn't mailed it back. Anyway, cuckoo.
Have you sent it to her? Have you given her a label?
Yeah, I said, we approved the return request. She has the label. She still hasn't put the label on the box and shipped it back to us, which she's gonna, then when she misses that, then it's just gonna, I get to keep the money and she's not gonna get her money, and then she's gonna be pissed probably and leave me a negative.
I have a feeling that the lady I'm dealing with is just going to send it back on her own without going through eBay. That's just my other.
Probably what she's going to do. She's probably going to take it to the post office and send it back.
Yep.
More than likely.
If she's telling the truth. I don't think she's telling the truth. I mean, if she's telling the truth, send it back because I can take the photo out of the frame. I think if it is damaged, it's something that she done to it.
Right.
Because I've packed 4 foot wide by 8 foot display cabinets that are full of glass, and it's made it from Ohio to California on a semi. So I know that photo is going to make it from here to California or Oregon or wherever it went. So without being broke.
Rita says she's calling the cat police.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna call the authorities. You're selling, like I got like a cat killing facility.
No, it's not police. It's not police. It's Pearlies.
Hank says, "Watch her finally mail you back a bag of her house cat's hair and
her hair
put
is
her
probably
doll."
full of cat hair. She probably lives with about 300 of them or something.
Oh God, Sarah moves to Kentucky and starts killing cats and making pelts out of them.
Oh yeah, and selling the coats for $50. I don't care. By the time I feed the cat and do the work, I ain't making no money.
I'm thinking maybe I can sell my dog's hair.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go do battle with the Lutherans. I'll see y'all later.
What could people use it?
Okay. Tara Lipsky is the youngest medalist.
Lipinski.
Oh.
Is it Lipinski or Lipinski?
Okay.
I
She's
think
the
it's Tara
youngest.
Lipinski. Yeah, she was a little blonde, I think.
Yeah, she was.
I forget what year that was, but I remember her.
She
now.
was
Was it
16.
Atlanta, like 96?
It was 98.
Yeah, I
Oh.
knew. It wasn't.
She was 16. And Scott Allen was the boy, and he was 15. Because somebody over here sent me and said, it was.
Tara Lipinski. Yeah, that's her
Yeah.
name.
Oksana Bayul she was young. too.
And then Christy. I forgot all about Christy Yamaguchi.
Yeah.
I love to watch figure skating in the Olympic. That's my favorite is the Winter Olympics.
I like speed skating.
Yeah.
That's,
like speed skating.
awesome, yeah, to be able to.
Huh?
I said that's an art.
Mhm.
To stay on the ice.
I used to figure skate when I was younger.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it now.
I can't skate. Yeah, and I would break my ass if
I
tried
couldn't
it.
do it now, not with my knees the way they are. But,
my knees would be like toothpicks that you just would break, and then I just be laying on the ice.
well, we had a 7-acre lake down here, so we'd figure skate it all the time in the winter.
I never was good. I like to downhill ski, but I never was good at.
I
ice
can't
skating.
ski. I can roll down the hill really good with skis on, but I
You
can't
just
make it
ride
down
the
the hill.
pizza.
I can't make it downhill on skis.
You ride the wedge. You ride the pizza.
I like the Winter Olympics. I don't particularly care for the Summer Olympics.
I like the slalom when they ski down and they jump in the air and they lean forward. I
Yeah.
love to watch that them just glide like that. I thought, why don't they put one
What
of
do you mean you don't like
flying
watching-
squirrel suits on and see how far they can
Tom,
really go?
you man of gentry, don't like watching the show jumping in the Summer Olympics?
No, I like the floor gymnastics. Yeah.
That's you talk about on the horses.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch it, but they don't really give it much showtime down here.
You got to watch it on the horse channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a British comedian called Greg Davies, and he's talking about that he went to a horse show, and he said, did you know that if you can turn on some, I forgot the group, the singer, but like you turn on some rock and roll, and he says them horses just lose their mind. Then he starts doing like this, that prancing thing, like they're doing with music.
Oh, animals like music. I mean, look at birds. They sit there.
Well, he was talking about it's whatever the horse routine or the horse event where they kind of like prance. And,
Oh yeah.
Oh, like dressage where they do the freestyle.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what
I
he's
showed
talking about.
saddlebreds. They'll have an organ in the middle of the arena, and they'll play like this organ music.
Mm.
They played like a lot of like, it depended on what gate you were in, but they've changed it up. Like when I was a kid, it'd be like Flight of the Bumblebee or all this Orange Blossom Special and stuff like that on an organ. Anyway,
I love
I
watching animals
watch
dance.
the jumping when they do all the jumping, and I'm thinking to myself, my fat ass would be on the ground.
I've been on it. I've done that
that-
where I've gotten jumped right off the horse and been on the ground.
when they jump about 5 feet, to clear one of those walls, I'd be like, the horse would land, and I would land on the ground beside him.
It isn't always the height of the fence, it's the spread on the oxers. Because if you're like in a modified jumper class, your height will be 4'6". Doesn't sound that bad. But as the spread on the oxer will be up to like 6'8". I mean 6
Oh.
foot 8 inches wide this way. That's a lot of jump.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject or anything, but going back to like ice skating and stuff, my funnest thing to do on the ice and stuff or play in the snow is be on an inner tube and go sliding around. But I remember this is for my niece Julie and her baby. Not that she can understand anything I'm saying, but she says she's chatting along with us, so that's good. So
Cute.
I remember when I was about 12 years old, my dad used to take us to the hills, or the mountains to, play in the snow and stuff, because we didn't usually get snow down where we lived in the valley. So we went up to the snow, and we found this place where there was a hill, and then there was like a dip. And so it would kind of like throw you a little bit. Well, and my mom didn't usually play in the snow with us. She would watch us and take pictures and stuff, but she wouldn't usually get on the play. Well, my mom decided she was going to go down this hill. And my mom went down the hill and she hit that dip and she did a flip on that inner tube. And we were like, oh, like, is mom dead? Like we were scared, and we thought she was crying, but she was laughing her ass off. She could not hardly breathe because she was laughing so hard, and it was just a really fun memory of my mom, but we thought for sure she hit that flip or that the dip in the snow, and it just flipped her completely over, and we thought she broke her neck or something, and she was just over there cracking up so hard. Yeah, she was a badass.
Julie says Amy likes listening to all of you. She keeps smiling.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to have a ball field down here, and it had the backdrop, the metal mesh backdrop. Well, my dad and my brother-in-law had piled up dirt there. They were getting ready to they were going to put it out for the spring and redo the ball field for us kids. Well, it snowed, and it snowed so hard. I mean, it almost covered the dirt, which we couldn't see it from the top of the hill. And this is a big hill. We come down, and I decided to use I had the red flyer. It had the rails. Well, Dad waxed them. So normally we would stop at the bottom of the hill, but that particular day I didn't stop. I just kept going, and that thing dug into that mound of dirt and flipped me up because it's stuck, just like that, and flipped me up. And I ended up in the backdrop of that baseball diamond and just slid down and like. I had like the imprint on my face of that match. I just laid there. I'm like, I think I'm dead.
Yeah. I had one of those sleds too, and we had a barn hill when I was a kid, and I would just on a snow day, I mean, all day I'd just go up and down that barn hill.
We don't have snow out here.
My mom's
You'd
like,
have to justify buying a sled. But we do the water sports, the skiing and whatnot. And during the high school, not during high school. I guess I was in high school. I was out skiing with some friends, and there was a boatload. It was just like 4 teenage boys, me and 3 other ones, and a boatload of teenage girls came up alongside us, and we were skiing and whatnot. And we chatted for a minute, and I was in the water getting ready to ski. And so we take off, and I'm on a slalom, and I'm kind of like showing my ass off out there, you know. And I swing way out to the side of it because it was either stop or wide open. That's the way we ski. And I swung way out to the side, and I was on cut back across and so go flying across to the other side of the boat. And you're picking up some pretty good speed there. And I jumped the boat wake. Well, a cruiser was coming in the opposite direction, and I nosed that slalom into that wake. So it just kind of like stood up like a tombstone. The next thing I know, I'm just laying in the water. The boat's the guys I'm with on this side, the girls are on this guy. They're going, Tommy, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, just let me lay here for a minute.
I could never get up on water skis either.
You know, my friend's like, you look like a rock skipping across there. You must have skipped 150 feet.
Oh my
God. We used to go tubing all the time behind the boat. Oh my God, that was so much fun.
Yeah, I love tubing. And
the whole fun of it was to fall off, and then you'd like, everybody's like, it looked like you were doing cartwheels across the water.
Yeah.
Oh, you used to have so much fun.
If it's anything like my brother-in-law, they'd open them boats as fast as they could go.
Yeah.
And that tube just, you're like hanging on, your mouth wide open. You got water
best
flying
part
in your face.
is you get going along really good, and then all of a sudden you snatch back on the throttle and you lock the wheel in, so the boat's basically just turning on its back end. So you're out there on the end of a 150-foot long ski rope. Well, by the time you get around to this side of the arc, you're making about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, note to self, I am not tubing with Tom driving the boat. No way.
We always said, let's see if we can knock his bathing suit off, because we've had a couple of them that have come off of the tube, and their bathing suit's way over here.
Yeah.
And they're way over here.
That happened. My friend Kim, she basically walked on water. She walked right out of the skis, and with just her little feet just go. She was going so fast that she realized she had no skis on. Then she stopped. And her top, you can see her top.
If she would have had faith, she would have kept on walking.
Her top went one way, and the skis went another. And my nephew's like, "I'll go get her." It's like, "Yeah, you'll go get her. So don't wear the bathing suit."
Oh my
I
God.
always wanted to try water skiing, but my brother wouldn't let me. 'Cause he's like, I'm not letting you break your legs.
My God.
Okay, it's 11 o'clock. I got to get out of here, guys.
Yep.
Well, get out of here then.
I'm trying to get on the schedule. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks, Val. Marie. Thanks, Valerie.
You're welcome.
You're getting more parts for me. Hey? You're going to have to tell me where all that chrome come off of as I take pictures of it.
Work done, and listening to it. Got another sale. So good. I'm glad I'm getting some sales in and getting some stuff sold. And I gotta keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Tree's starting to pull some items before the mail lady gets here, so I got to get off here too. So.
All righty, we'll see y'all later. I hope everybody has a great day. Get lots of sales. Get some listing done.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you
Bye.
tomorrow.